Welcome to this fifth and final video on the TAP Solutions Sustainable Performance Framework overview. Again, with me today, I've got the CEO of TAP Solutions, Anthony Ryland. Welcome, Anthony.
Hi, good to be here for the fifth and final video.
So last time we were together, we were looking at overcoming barriers to performance. This time we're looking at delivering results, as we said, the final facet. Could you tell us what this facet is all about?
Well, this is the final facet because this is where the real stuff happens. This is where we deliver performance. We get across the line and we deliver what we wanted to achieve. And remember, I've been saying through these videos, performance happens in all organizations. It's about the delivery of the actions and the goals that satisfy the mission of the reason why your organization exists. So every single different organization has a performance that they need to deliver. And this area is the absolute drive to get across the line at the end. And there's two areas within this. The first one is continuous innovation, and the second one is delivering excellence. The first one, continuous innovation, is about how do we change those ideas into action? So last time we were talking about a growth mindset. How do we change those ideas of a growth mindset into actionable things that incrementally move us forward? And this is where you can bring in some great analogies, things like Formula One, if you know your Formula One cars. Every week they tweak a little part of the car to make it next week slightly better than this week. And this is what innovation is really about. It's not about huge change that happens in organization. It's about continuously harnessing that growth mindset through the challenging conversations that we've had and turning those ideas into action so we're always moving forward. And then we have delivering excellence, which is about the passion to get things done and to hold people to account. And all the way back into the third video, I talked about ownership being the input into getting people to drive through their jobs. Well, accountability is to make sure that they get across that finish line.
Fantastic. So, as the final facet here, delivering results, why is this one so important?
Well, I think the simple way to put it is actually it's not a hobby, it's a job. And I think some of us are really lucky to do things that we really enjoy in our work. But what's the difference between a hobby and a job? Well, the job is about delivering the results. The hobby is just living the experience. So this is where we take everything that created a great, healthy workplace culture and we turn it into something that's worthwhile. We did all that previous stuff, the other components, to get to this point. So why run 100 meters and then finish 2 meters before the end? You get across the line. So that is why this is really important. And it's about getting people to innovate. Why do we do that? Because actually the world is changing. I quite often use the analogy that actually an organization is actually an organism that lives in an external environment. If the external environment is changing so quickly, as if you think about Charles Darwin, we need to adapt inside that. So that's why continuous innovation is so important. And it was like people like Henry Ford saying that, well, if I talk to my customers, they said I should have just created faster horses. Yet he came up with a Model T Ford and actually revolutionized how we travel. And those ideas come from inside organizations. So we need to harness those and get them across the finish line. And of course, that's where delivering excellence happens because that's actually the absolute passion to deliver those goals and hold everyone to account.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. And I'm curious, what would be some from yourself, some practical tips for both of these areas for the listeners listening into this area of facet of delivering results?
Yeah, I think a simple, really simple one for innovation is sometimes we have an idea, we think, oh, as well as my day job, that's going to take me so much time to do. And there's a simple little tool, there's a little 2 by 2 grid, like little two axes, impact and ease. So, what's the impact of your idea going to have? And how easy is it going to do? It's about mapping out all the ideas that you have and think which are the ones that are the easiest to deliver that will have the greatest impact. And this is where we call them like the low hanging fruit. Because actually, that then, by delivering these few bits of change and innovation, creates a culture where people go, I've got an idea. Why don't I try that as well? Because they tried that out, it worked. and they celebrated success there. We could have the same thing. It will make my job easier. So I think just mapping out the ideas you have and trying something first is a great innovation tool. Thinking about delivering excellence, there was a great book written by Sean Covey et al., which is Stephen Covey's son, and it's about the four disciplines of execution. I think there are four really good things to think about to deliver excellence and get things over the line. It's about focusing on really wildly important goals, one or two wildly important goals, and absolutely everyone getting behind those. Thinking about how we measure things. Can we measure things up front rather than after the event has happened? So they're called lead measures. So how do we measure things before the end result happens so we can change our tack our way through to make sure we always perform at the end? It's about communicating how we're doing in a way that's easy to understand for everyone in the organization, not just those who work in finance. And then finally, holding people to account. Organizations do not perform because of its management. They perform because everyone is bought into that idea of we need to deliver this and let's all work together to get across the line. So I think there's some really tangible stuff to do here, and it makes all the other stuff in a sustainable performance model worthwhile to if we get this bit right.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. And Anthony, CEO of Tap Solutions, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and perspectives on this video, but also the previous four around the different facets of the Sustainable Performance Framework. For the listeners, thank you for listening to the 5 videos. If you'd like to learn more about the Sustainable Performance Framework, go to the website. On the website, we have a white paper. On top of that, there's additional resources. You can do a diagnostic. We've got lots of other blogs and articles being written. But more importantly, if you've got any questions or you'd like to explore this more, reach out to us either through the website or through LinkedIn. We'd be more than happy to explain and explore how the Sustainable Performance Framework can make a difference to your team, your organization, or even you as a leader. Thank you for listening.